And I'm going to press the lever to get the lock off the hood. Prop open the hood. And then in order to get to the fuse so that the fuel pump is not pumping fluid in, I'm just going to take off this jack. And then, so that is off. And our fuse for the fuel pump is right here. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this fuse, and if the car stalls out, that means we have the right fuse. Car going. And we have the right fuse. So that's how we know that the fuel pump is no longer working. Next, we will unlock the gas cap and unscrew it to relieve any pressure. Locate the Schrader valve. Unscrew the cap. And you want to have a towel because there's a lot of gas and you don't want it squirting all over the place. Just nestle that towel up in there. Take a small screwdriver, and all you're going to do is apply a slight amount of pressure to this middle valve stem. Oh. And a little bit of gas comes out, and that is all of it. After the pressure has been released,
you have to make sure that you have the emergency brake on and that the vehicle is in neutral and or park. Yeah.
So there's 4 bolts.
Here, 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 and here.
Now we will be removing the plate that covers the fuel filter itself. Here you see the fuel filter, and we have a clamp which needs to be taken off so that we can release the fuel filter. Ashton is now tightening down on the bolt with one hand, and with the other hand using the screwdriver to take the bolt off. Now that the clamp has been removed, then you're going to have to unscrew those pieces.
The clasps.
Loosening the clasps. And now when you're loosening these clasps, make sure to have a towel handy because there will be a lot of gas. Now you're removing the fuel filter from the hose. Be careful to watch for gas. Now you're going to want to squeeze around this tube and pull. So you squeeze here, use your thumb, push upwards towards the fuel filter and pull away. And there you have gas. Now you use your bucket here to drain any remaining gas from the fuel filter. Our hose here seems to be in good shape, so we're going to keep that. The clasp that you wanted to release is the clasp that is closest to the fuel filter. There is a lot of gas in it. So just go ahead and let that drain. While that's draining, you can work on this clasp on the back end. That can be released with a flathead screwdriver in a counterclockwise motion. Alright, now we are loosening the clamps on the back of the fuel filter. And we're loosening those clamps so that we can get the hose out. Once we release that hose, we should be able to pull the fuel filter off.
Good.
Now if you firmly grab the tube and pull the fuel filter, after you have loosened the clamp, then with enough wiggling and movement, the fuel filter will come out. And there you have it. Make sure that you have your bucket handy to capture any remaining fuel. On your new fuel filter, be sure to locate the in and out. It will be labeled out and in on one side. The outside should go towards the engine and the inside should go towards your fuel tank. Once you've located that, put it back in the harness and reconnect your hoses. The inside first. With one hand, firmly grasp the rubber hose and insert of the fuel filter into the hose. Make sure that of the fuel filter is fully inserted into the hose. Once fully inserted, bring the clamp back down all the way until it touches the filter. Once the clamp is over the hose towards the fuel filter, begin to turn with a flathead screwdriver in a clockwise motion until the clamp is firmly secure around the hose. And now to reattach the front end hose to the fuel filter. And once that is done, just like the back end, bring the clamp back over the hose until it is up against the fuel filter and firmly secure that along with the other clamp that goes to the fuel line with a Phillips head screwdriver. Slide the clamp over that, put the bolt in straight down, put the washer on the side with the bolt, secure it into place.
You just want to make sure all the screws and all the clasps are tight so that way there's no leaking when we start the car.
Before you start the car, be sure to replace the cap to the Schrader valve. After you've replaced the Schrader valve, replace the gas cap. Put it on, spin in a clockwise motion till it clicks. Once the fuel filter is securely in place, put the fuse to the fuel pump back into the fuse box and then turn the key to the on position. Once the fuse is in, put the key into the ignition and turn towards the on position. so that the fuel filter can start to pump fuel. If you've done that and your fuel filter is pumping and you see no leaks from the fuel filter, you know that you are clamped down securely. At this point, you can go ahead and start the car to ensure that there is no leaks. It's not tightened enough because we had a lot of gas come out. So we're just going to go ahead and go in there and try and tighten a little bit more. Alright, round 2. We are going to test to see again. Oh yeah.
Leaking?
It is leaking. So we're going to attempt again to tighten this clamp. If there's no leaks, then it's time to put the harness back around the fuel filter with the washer on the bolt side. Place the bolt straight up through these holes, pinch the harness together, screw the bolt on the top of the screw clockwise till it's tight enough to where you can no longer turn it by hand. Take your wrench, fit it around the bolt snugly. Take your Phillips head screwdriver and turn in a clockwise motion while holding the bolt in place. Okay, and now we are going to turn the key towards the engine in the on position, but we are not going to crank the engine all the way. We are just turning the key several times so that the fuel pump pumps the fuel. Therefore, we can see if we have a leak or not. And it seems that we do not have a leak as of now, and all of our fasteners are tight and secure at both ends of the hose. So now you're ready to turn on your car to see if there's any leaks. Turn on the car. Once that... good. Take the cover plate, this back under the fuel filter, lining up each hole with the bolts, and then put the bolts back in place. You want your selector towards the right, and then tighten clockwise. Replace the cap on the fuse box, the jack stand, and then slide that back on. Take your bungee cord so that it doesn't fly off anywhere. Hook one end of the bungee cord into there and hook it into there. Once that's done, push the hood up slightly, fold the holder back down, lock it into place, and gently let the trunk close with its weight. Pull up on each side so that these lock right into there.